Psalm 131, honest with God. Honesty is hard to come by these days. When you think of all the news about COVID or about anything else, it's a lot of ups and downs, and which source are you really listening to? And it's hard to know who's telling you the truth. In many respects, we as humans are kind of like that, right? When someone asks me, "Hey John, how are you doing?" My natural response is to say, "I'm doing good." Even though inside, in life, there might be things that are kind of turmoil, difficult, hardship, and learning to be honest with others is kind of difficult because you're trying to figure out who you can truly be honest with. There's certain people that you can trust, and there's certain people that you're kind of more skeptical about, or you just don't know very well. And then there's those that you just realize, I cannot be that honest with them. One of the great things about God is God knows all things. That's the beauty of God, that He literally knows all things that each one of us in this whole world is going through. And that's mind-blowing in and of itself. But have you ever tried to lie to God? Have you ever thought about, I'm not going to tell God the truth? You see, in this psalm, we get to see David, King David, just be honest with God. And he gives us reasons why. But he says in verse 1, "O Lord, my heart is not lifted up. My eyes are not raised too high. I do not occupy myself with things too great and too marvelous for me." You see, what he's saying is he's confessing to God that, God, I just don't know everything. In life, you can feel like you know a lot and you'll be able to take care of it. And you can even talk yourself into those things. But David's just being honest with God and saying, God, I just really don't know. There's even things too great and too marvelous for me that I couldn't even put words to it. I couldn't even know how. And then the verse 2, it says, "But I have calmed and quieted my soul. Like a weaned child with its mother, like a weaned child is my soul within me." You see, one of the beauties about being honest with God and being honest about yourself is that you're able to look at yourself for who you really are. And he says, you know what, I'm learning. Like a weaned child. A weaned child learns how to soothe itself. A weaned child learns how to feed itself. A weaned child learns how to walk it by itself. There's this guiding hand, this guiding and teaching hand, and that's what he's saying about the Lord. That God has guided him and has matured him to trust in God and to know that God knows all things greater and better than we will ever. And then David encourages us this. "O Israel, hope in the Lord from this time forth and forevermore." You see, what he tells us is you're going to always need to trust God. And you're always able to trust God. Because God is always honest with us. He's always available. He's always there. He's always truthful. He's always going to tell you what is right versus what is wrong. He's always going to lead you, as he says, into paths of righteousness, meaning into the right way of living, the right way to go, and the right choices to make. God will never fail you. Even though we're surrounded by people who have failed us, family members, spouses, kids, work relationships, there's lots of ways in which we've been failed or have been lied to. People haven't been just quite honest with us or totally upfront or however you want to say that. But the one thing that you can always rely on is that God will be honest with you. The question is, will you be honest with Him? So I hope this encourages you. It encouraged me just to see David's honesty about himself. The question is, will you be honest about yourself, your situation, as you're honest with God? I want to encourage you to take a moment right now just to pray honestly to God with whatever it is that's on your heart or going on in your life. God already knows, and He cares. He wants to hear from you. And for those that have never placed their faith in Jesus, to to just pray and ask God to come into your life, to confess that you believe in what Jesus has done for you. And the Bible says that you'll be saved, that you'll have a new relationship with God as a child, and God's going to take care of you. Well, thanks for joining today, another day as we looked at the Song of Ascents as ways in which we approach God. And this way is honest. Join with us tomorrow. Until next time, I'll see you later.